So here's what I want to have the discussion on. Now that the emotions have calmed a little bit, now that the dust has cleared a little bit from Sunday, I want to have the discussion about Dan Campbell and the coaching theory, the coaching strategy. And look, guys, I've been steadfast with this, and I'm not changing, and I won't change. I love it. I think that's the way you win football. I think it's analytically correct. I think it's statemently correct, if that's a word that I can just make up. That's where I am with it, D-Mac. I have zero problem with it. Zero problem with the way he operates. It's a different way of thinking. And my point of it is this. The people that are critical just go ahead and just accept the way that you're supposed to think about it. Like the game of football today in 2024 is the same as it was in 1992, and it's not. It's vastly different. The game is different. The offenses are different. Points matter now more than they've ever mattered. Possessions matter now more than they've ever mattered. And that's my stance on it, D-Mac. I'm not changing.
You see, and it's not just our coach or whatever, but you see more coaches having to make these decisions, whether it's challenges or timeouts at different points of the game, and just the narrative about defer the kickoff so you can get the ball at the end of the half and coming out of the halftime. Different mentalities to do it. With Dan Campbell, the one thing that I like when you're talking about this is what I've seen is him evolve as a coach. So this is going to be a huge learning experience for him of what he would continue to do and what he wouldn't continue to do. But the one thing is that he's true to brand. And the fact is that all the guys are with them. Everybody's on they just didn't execute. So they're all on the same page, and that's, what brought them to the dance. And unfortunately, they came up short and they didn't execute. But that's what got him there. So I think that he's evolved. This year, he's evolved from his first year coaching, and I think that different situations, until you're in the heat of the battle, you don't know how you're going to react, and nobody knows that if it comes around again, the same situation, he could do the exact same thing because he knows that's the right thing, and just execute. That's all it is. If there's execution, the plays are there. The execution wasn't. So I think that I'm all 100% behind Dan Campbell. Because the bottom line is that he's going to evolve as a coach.
And WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Chuck Brewer says it's definitely about defense about making timely stops now, not shutting teams down. And Chuck, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Like the rules of engagement have changed. John Gregory says maybe kick one, still 90% Reynolds Stone hands. And I'm not doing this to revisit that, but maybe to offer explanation, because I got some questions about it from my buddies that we were sitting around watching, and I wanted to just pull up, the drive charts and things like that to give you those snapshots in time. It's where, like, the first one in the third quarter when they're up 24-10, and there's 7:03 left in the third quarter at the time, and they're up 24-10. When you go for it, especially 4th and 2. To me, 4th and 2, 4th and 3s are non-negotiables on the plus side of the field. I'm going every single time. Every single time I'm going. Because you start countering the balance of on the plus side of the field, when the other team gets the ball, time situations. But the first one to take a look at, when you look at it, there's 7:03 left, it's 4th and 2 on San Francisco's 28 in a 24-10 game. D-Mac, I'm going for that because it's 4th and 2. Every single time I'm going for it. But that aside, when you do that, and here's the difference between the end of the second quarter and the third quarter, because I heard a lot of people talk about this. Well, what's the difference? Why didn't you do it at the end of the second quarter? The end of the second quarter is different because you're kicking off to the 49ers to start the half. You're kicking off to them. Like, they get the ball. So in that scenario there, that's where I'm taking my points, because no matter what happens, I'm kicking off to the 49ers. Like, that's it, that's all. I'm kicking off to them, meaning they're going to get the ball at the 25-yard line to start the third quarter. So I'm taking my points and keeping it pushing. Now, if it were 4th and 1, maybe it'd be a different story. But that's distant dependent.
Well, I think there's two things that go on here, right? Because if and play devil's advocate, but I can see both sides, right? Because I thought how imperative to go for the field goal at the end of the half was to make it a 3-score game, giving them the ball back. I thought you might play it like tennis, right? Where they got 3, well, we're going to come back, we're going to match, and we still keep it a 3-score game. But no, what Dan Campbell said is, no, I'm going to put my fucking knee on your throat.
He was going for the knockout.
He was going for the knockout. And am I going to get mad at him for going for the knockout, knowing this is San Fran and they're going to have pushback and stuff? No. Now, with experience as you get older, will he decide that, you know, in that time in the future, maybe
I hope not.
He doesn't have to, or maybe that, okay, so every time.
I hope
so he's
not.
consistent, Neil, but that's what it was. I looked at it that he was going for the knockout punch. He was going and saying, it's in my hands, it's 4-2, everything you said like this. I'm controlling my destiny. Now, you know what the difference is in this game? That every other game that we've seen the Lions be successful when this hasn't happened, the other side of the ball picked them up. And what happened today when San Fran got it going and Dan Campbell talked about momentum is nobody in any facet could find a way to flip momentum.
Yeah.
You know, it was also huge. Like little things. How about that fucking punt by Jack Fox that should have been down?
Oh yeah, we talked about that yesterday. Yeah.
Little, but when you needed when you needed a bomb, and I don't know if that was an 80-yard punt or whatever, but like little thing like that, if you get them started beyond, right? So there's so many where Dan Campbell, and I think that's what he's talking about, that it was a breakdown and lack of execution in all aspects where they can all take responsibility and know that they lost the game.
Gromit 0237. Damn, Meathead Campbell dropped the ball and everything else is excuses. You kicked the field goal. Okay, listen. All right, Gromit, I'm talking to you then. Right here, I'm talking to you. Here's the why on it. All right, 7:03 left in the third quarter. 4th and 2 at San Fran's 28. You're up 24-10. You're planning to get that first down. Just as often as you succeed, I won't even get into the little narrow differences. Just as often as you succeed at the field goal, you get the first down. Throughout time, we have data points to suggest it. Here's the thought process behind it. And this is what I'm talking about. This is the reason, the thought process. 7 minutes to go. You get that first down, right? You get that first down. That's another 2 minutes off the clock. Now we're down to 5 minutes. This is how fine the line was. There was 22 minutes left in the game at that time. You get that first down. That's another 2 minutes off the clock minimum. You pick up another first down. There's 2 more minutes. Just like that, San Francisco's down to 3 possessions left in the game.
74-yard punt, bro.
Yeah. No, it was a missile.
But you know what I'm saying? It was closer than anything else, but it was a team loss. And then they're all standing up together as a team to take it as a loss. And that's what'll get you further ahead. There's no finger pointing.
Gloss says, yo, regular season stats don't matter in the playoffs. I know, because they got it every single time in the playoffs, Gloss. Every single time they got it. And the point of the story is this. I'm illustrating how close they were to the knockout punch. To the knockout punch. If they punch it in the end zone with 3 minutes to go in the third quarter, 4 minutes to go in the third quarter, there's 19 minutes left, and San Francisco gets the ball 3 times maximum, down 3 scores. You see what I'm saying? This is the granular line of thinking behind it, and the pass hit the guy in the hands. You know what I'm saying? That's how close that all was. And I get it, right? It was close, it didn't matter. Okay, yeah, no, I don't disagree with you. But that's the theory behind it. And it worked in the Rams game. Did it not? Did it not? Yes, it did. They did this in the playoffs. That's how they've had success. And that's the line of thinking behind it. And I'm here for it. And guess what? Next year in the NFC Championship game, if it's 4th and 2 at the 30 and they're up by 14 with 7 minutes to go, guess what I'm doing again? I'm going for it again. And when you get it, you take them by the throat then. As Dan Campbell's, we were going for the upper hand. And that was more than the upper hand. They were going for the Conor McGregor shitty roadhouse punch in the bar. That's what they were going to be able to do. That's the thinking behind it. And D-Mac, that doesn't change for me.
Can't say that. We haven't seen it yet. We haven't seen
you're talking about the movie.
We haven't seen his shitty roadhouse punch yet.
No, absolutely.